Hey guys, this is Megan from You Go to Be Kidding. This week we are talking about the goats and some ways that we try to keep them healthy. And here on our farm, we've changed some things up recently. So let me show you what we're doing. So we recently introduced a mineral buffet system. We have 20 loose minerals plus a plain salt, not a mineral salt because they're all separate. And I'm really excited about our initial results. We've only been doing it for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to share how it's been going and why we chose to do this. But yeah, let me talk about why we would switch to a system like this. What on earth made us decide to switch over from just one cup, one easy loose mineral over to a slightly more complicated system? And we've got some good reasons, and I'm excited about how it's going. This is our 5th year raising goats, and we have really struggled this year. We have never had so many parasite issues. Usually, the only issues we have is when they first come back on spring grass. Usually there's kind of the spring runs, and that resolves itself pretty quickly. And then usually there's a little bit of a struggle after kidding. It's usually 3 to 4 weeks after kidding, and we use our herbal wormer, and it's just a few days, and everybody goes back to normal. So other than those few times, we really haven't struggled very much with the goats at all. They get herbal wormer. We probably do once a month, maybe once a week if something is going on, but not too crazy. And then they've always had the Redmond Selenium 90 loose mineral. We know we've had selenium issues. We noticed that mostly with our lambs. And so we've used that selenium one and not had any issues with the goats. It's worked well. This year, unfortunately, we are having a lot more trouble, and it kind of all started as a big sign when we got lice back in the spring. Sorry, I'm distracted. River is running around like crazy. She's being a puppy. She's very cute. So other than an odd issue here and there, our herbal wormer, our loose minerals, and we rotate pastures. We use our Premier One electric nets, and we rotate pastures every other day, and that has always taken care of all the issues we've had. We have not had to manage too many other worm issues. They've done really, really well, even here in Tennessee where it's hot and humid and wet all the time. But this year has been different. So I'm not sure what made this year bad. It could have just been our unseasonably warm like spring, and we never got a late frost. That could have led to a bad parasite year. It could have to do with our pastures. As we've been healing them, there's less and less weeds. And this year we started the goats up front on our larger, kind of more grassy pasture. And I really feel like that actually contributed to some mineral off balances or imbalances because the goats weren't getting what they want. They actually prefer browse and weeds and trees and things like that, and so having them on our front pasture for so long may have contributed to our issues. We got that spring lice, and when we found out that the lice often was caused by a sulfur deficiency, and then we were able to successfully get rid of the lice with topical sulfur, and the goats very much wanted to lick the sulfur out of our hands. That definitely gave some like fuel to my interest in these mineral buffets. Several of the people we watch do try a mineral buffet system, and there is a little bit larger of a cost associated with the setup. I did find a farm, Little Avalon Farm. I'll share the link down below. They have gotten the like huge orders because some of it is cost prohibitive because you have to order like 25 or 50 pound bags. And for my small goat herd, that's a ridiculous amount of minerals. So Little Avalon Farm orders them in bulk for small farmers like this and then breaks them up and sells them in smaller packages. So the kit that I ordered to begin with came with 1 pound packages of most of the minerals and 2 pound packages of a few of them. Usually the most commonly used ones. All right, so this is our official setup for our mineral buffet. This is an old IBC tote crate. It's flipped upside down. So this is not waterproof. It does have holes drilled in it. So to put it out in the field, we would want to work out some sort of waterproof cover, but for now we're just leaving it in the barn, and we bring the goats up here every morning to milk anyway. So we're just gonna make sure that we include the boys sometimes too. Hey, River. So all we did was zip tie these on. We may make this more permanent in the future, but again, this was super easy to just get the minerals out here. We have a different mineral in each cubby, and then we used a blue tape to label our buckets. And I think the thing I love most is that this is going to be easily modifiable if there's something we don't like or doesn't work well. The 21st mineral is plain salt, which is down in this one. It didn't fit around the edge. We filled it up with 10 of these things. So just know that technically it does not fit. The 21st one had to be down low. But plain salt, that's the cheapest and easiest one to replace. And so I figured that would be the risk of the goats pooping in it or something is higher down there. But again, this is actually not out in the field with them until we can figure out some sort of roof type system. And this is pretty heavy, but that's also an advantage because then the goats don't mess it up or knock it over. So it's been working great. The goats have gone crazy for cobalt and selenium, which are the ones over there. Cobalt and selenium. And I actually refilled them this morning. So the goats are just about up here. And there's some boys, and we're gonna let them get what they want before we take them back down. I did shoot some before footage of each goat and kind of talk about some of the issues I'd been noticing with them. And so I will go ahead and share that. And then I will do a follow-up of some after shots. And again, it's only been 2 weeks, but I'm already noticing some really nice changes in their coat quality and the softness and the color and the texture of their hair. So that can be a good indicator of overall health. Their Lamancha scores look great. Their stool is looking a lot better. And I think all of these things are going to play into their overall health and immune system health. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds. But let me show you in depth what each goat was struggling with, and then I'll show you how they're doing now. So this is Tansy, day 1 on our new minerals. Her coat is a little coarse, but not bad. She's having a hard time shedding out like most of them, but she does have some good brown. I'm trying to get the lighting good in here. She is nice and red, which she should be with only a little bit of the blonde. She's nice and red in here. She looks good. So we're seeing what minerals affect her. There's a little better coloring. So she is red, but she does have some blonde in here, and that is usually a mineral deficiency. Copper is what I have usually dealt with. But we are trying out a mineral buffet. So this is Tansy on day 1. This is Ivy and Cedar. Both of them have been really struggling, and I have been worming them with our herbal wormer pretty heavily. But in Ivy, you can see that the black is this kind of brownish red all along her back, down along her legs real bad. Her hair is really coarse. She has dandruff pretty bad. And so I noticed that she immediately went for cobalt and copper, which I've been copper bolusing her. And I was worried that she was getting too much copper, but that's still what she was going for. And some other of the minerals, I'll keep track of which ones. It's hard to know which one each goat takes. Cedar has been looking really skinny. She was struggling with some diarrhea, but I think I finally got that cleaned up. She's not as coarse as her mom. She's feeling pretty soft. Her Lamancha score actually looks good. You can tell some of them are struggling with some diarrhea still. Oh, you guys. Hello, goats. All right, you want to grab Cedar before she jumps up in there? Oh, there is a hierarchy in the goat world. That is for sure. That's those two. This is Wisteria. She has actually been getting much softer. When we first got her, she has this longer hair, and she was really coarse and didn't feel good at all. She feels really good right now, even though we're just starting the mineral change. So I don't know what, I think being out in the tree line has really helped her. She has been really benefiting from that, but we'll keep an eye on how she changes. So she is dirty, white goats. Man, it's hard to keep her clean. But overall, actually, she looks really good. I'm pretty happy with how she's looking. But she was definitely going for some of the minerals at the end of the line. I'm just not sure which one it is. Goat number 5 is Maple. She has been really, really good. I'm going to let her out of the stall. We're all done milking. They're all mean to each other. Maple has looked really good. She is probably the softest goat. You're going to have to grab a Cedar. She's being a bully.
Yeah,
Maple has been super soft. She shed out really nicely. I'm curious whether her color will darken at all, if she needs some of the minerals that affect coat health. But otherwise, I have been the most happy with Maple. She looks fantastic. She has been doing really well. She has not been struggling with worms. So, alrighty, that is it. Let's see, I should write down. Today is June 22nd, I think, 22nd. And the goats got some minerals yesterday, and then we're letting them get some today while we milk. I'm out here with the goat skin. Tomorrow marks 3 weeks with our mineral buffet. And so I want to show you the changes I've noticed in each goat, try to show you their coat. Some of it won't be able to be picked up on camera, but we have definitely noticed a difference even just in 3 weeks, which is super awesome. I'm really excited to see what 6 months and a year will look like, but I wanted to give an update because I feel like it's made a big difference already, and I know other people probably are on the fence about switching to a mineral buffet. I will link to Little Avalon Farm where they have it. The whole kit cost, I think it was right around $140 or $150 for the 20 minerals. The girls have eaten a ton of them. The ones that they've gone to most was at first the cobalt and the selenium. And again, I expected the selenium because we're low here. But unexpectedly, the other one they've gone for a ton is phosphorus. I don't know much about that. I was looking it up. It's important that phosphorus and calcium are in a good ratio. And I know that alfalfa is pretty high in calcium. And so, I mean, it makes sense, but I was surprised. They have eaten all of the phosphorus. So the kit comes with 1 pound of phosphorus. They have used it all up a few days ago. So in less than 3 weeks, they've used it all up. I have more on order, and that's a really neat thing with Little Avalon Farm. You can order the minerals in, some of them you can order a 1 pound package, or you can order a 2 and 5 pounds. And so you're not having to invest the 25 or 50 pound bags, and that's super useful. Now, if you're running a bigger operation and you can go through those minerals, it's not like they go bad. If you have a way to store them, you can totally do that. I'm just thankful for a smaller option. So I've ordered more phosphorus, and that will be coming in a few days. So it'll be interesting to see how long the ladies continue to eat that one in such high quantities. I expect that for a season they'll do that, and then as their bodies regulate, it will change, but we'll see. I don't know. So anyway, let me show you each of these ladies and see, hopefully, if you can tell the differences on camera, but I have noticed some things in person. All right, so this is Tansy. I called it red. I mean, I really do call her red. She's tan, but when she is healthy and her coat is in good shape, she gets this really dark brown on her, kind of red. And so one side we saw on the milking stand with her is there was a lot of blonde in her. Now, all of the goats have gotten so much softer. I've been brushing them each morning, so they've shed out a little better. And she is so much more red back here. Now, it's going to take a while for the blonde here, which often is a copper, but probably all other minerals as well. I believe zinc plays a huge role in coat health. So I have noticed a huge difference in everybody in how soft they feel. And I have definitely in Tansy as well. She's looking good. And all of the goats have been going for that phosphorus. I'd be curious to see if phosphorus plays in coat health. I was trying to look it up more. I didn't find any definitive information on what that helped with, but I'm seeing some changes in the taste of her milk, not going off quite so soon. Still not perfect. It's not as good as Ivy's, but better there as well. So coat health is the thing we're seeing the most of, and coat health can definitely be an indicator of overall health. This is Wisteria. She shed out better. Let me get my shadow out of the way here. Hey, girl. So her long coat has shed out really smoothly. She is looking really good. She is also extremely soft now, which is fun. They are softer than my goats have ever been. I've had seasons where they've done well, but this is awesome. They all feel so good. They're such a delight to pet because it's so soft. Next up is Ivy. she is feeling a lot better too. So you can still see the red along her spine and then down her thighs. That's still there. Obviously that is not going to go away in 3 weeks, but I am starting to see the black come in underneath it. And again, oh, thank you, Ivy. She is also much softer than she used to be. She is one that was really struggling with the runs and diarrhea and with some worming and these minerals. And of course we changed pastures. We are here in a pasture with some trees that we cut down and then we let the little shoots grow up. They love them. So this is the pasture they're in right now. It's awesome. It looks like we're in a little jungle here. But she is doing really well. She's starting to gain some weight back. Her milk supply, when she was struggling with worms and having diarrhea, her milk supply went down to less than a cup. I was no longer measuring it. I didn't even keep it. I just put it in my strip cup and was feeding it to the dog or the cats. And she is back up to 2 or 3 cups, which is obviously not as much as I would hope she'd be at, but she is struggling with something. And I'm seeing the results of the minerals and the herbal wormer, and her milk supply is climbing, and that is super exciting. So also just her health in general. I have not had to use a chemical wormer, and I know that she's struggling with stuff. So to see her health markers improve is always really exciting. But she looks good. She's eating well, and her coat condition is definitely changing. Let me come in. Yeah, you can't tell how soft she feels on video, obviously, but she's shinier. Even the shine in her coat was not there. She was so dull and lackluster. She is looking a lot better. This is Maple. She was already doing pretty well. I was very happy with her, and even her, she has gotten softer. I mean, she kind of almost feels as soft as the cats. Her fur's not that long, or fur hair, I don't know what you call it. She is also doing really well. I'm not sure if she's darkening up at all. She has her nice brown color. Probably she's getting a little richer in the color. I do notice the quality of the color, the richness of the color, and then just how she feels. She feels so good. She has not struggled at all. I am so pleased with her as a yearling goat. I'm really excited about her as she gets older, and hopefully her baby Cypress that we've kept, hopefully she turns out great as well. So this is Maple, and she's a good girl. So Cedar is hanging out by our goat shelter. This is how we rotate our goats around in the field. We just hodgepodge together some old scrap wood, make a frame, throw a roof on it, and some tarps around it. Now this one has gotten blown around in the wind and flipped over a few times, so we've got a bent roof corner, but it works well. It provides shade along with all these tree saplings that the goats are in right here. And then pan over to the boys, and then the babies are getting weaned. They are out there away from their mamas. All right, so back to Cedar. Cedar is the one that has been struggling the most. She had some bad diarrhea. I have been worming her, drenching her instead of just putting it on top of grain. She struggled so much, her milk supply actually completely dried up. I dried her off. We weaned her baby, and that helped some. She her stool kind of hardened back up, and then maybe a week or so later, it got loose again. And I'm just noticing today, it looks like she's all dried up. I think she's doing better again. She's really skinny, but I am noticing a difference in how her coat feels. I think the minerals are definitely giving her a fighting chance. I love Cedar. She is an excellent goat, and I really am doing what I can to help her. And it's also kind of a realistic check on whether we can raise our goats naturally. I know she's struggling. I'm doing what I can with the herbal wormer, but also I know that's so tough. Farmers all make different decisions. Anyway, she's doing well, and I'm really excited about that. So she's definitely not out of the woods, I don't think, but she is on the upswing, and so that is encouraging. And let me go give her a pet, see how she is feeling. Hey girl, you're so friendly. I love her. She's such a sweet goat. Yeah, she is feeling a lot softer. I can feel her ribs pretty close in here, but I'm making sure she's getting some extra alfalfa in the mornings. She comes up even though she's not in milk. I'm supplementing her some extra food, making sure she's getting plenty of our herbal wormer and the minerals that she needs, and she's still going. So that is really encouraging too, to know you have to be more diligent and more patient with the herbal options, but I really do think they can work. So far so good with our mineral buffet. Obviously 3 weeks is not nearly enough time to give a long-term update, but it is definitely enough time to have seen some improvements here in our little herd. So I'll keep you updated. I'll probably do a 6-month and a 1-year update as these ladies go through another breeding season, and it'll be interesting to see how it works. But I definitely have seen enough to encourage others to try it, especially if they're seeing coat color coming off and they're trying the copper bolus and things like that, and it's just not helping. And so if you're seeing some signs of mineral deficiency, I think this can be a really good way to help out your herd, and they can get the specific minerals that they need. It's been fascinating to watch each one pick and choose the minerals they need. In general, as a herd, they are going for the same ones like in bulk, but all of them will go after the other small minerals just a tiny bit, and that's fascinating to watch. They obviously know which one is which. They're not just eating them all willy-nilly. They're not going through a lot of them except some individual minerals. So that's really cool to see. I will make sure to link Little Avalon Farm where you can order yours if you need to. I'm not associated with them in any way. Maybe I should reach out and see if I could be, but I'm not. It's just a product I've tried, and they aren't doing anything special with the minerals. They're just packaging them in smaller sizes so that it's more practical for a small scale homestead. Anyway, this is a great update for our goats. The ladies are doing well. We are enjoying them, and I really do enjoy milking each day. Sometimes it can be tedious, but in general, it's a lot of fun. I would encourage you to get out, try something new. If you have any questions about what we're doing, feel free to ask in the comments below, and we will see you next week.